There's a path in Brown County that will lead you on a journey through history.
It's called the Way of the Cross, and it brings in visitors from around the world. In this week's Finding Minnesota, John Lordson shows us why it's become more than just an Easter time destination.
That's a good area to find whatever you want.
Not many towns can say they have a 100-foot tall statue watching over them. In New Ulm, Herman the German is front and center, but he's not the only statue that draws a crowd.
It's a place of prayer, meditation, and tranquility. We've got one of the largest councils.
Gary Niebauer is talking about the Way of the Cross, 14 outdoor stations that depict the passion and death of Jesus, but with a unique history of their own.
The statues that are in each of the stations or niches are basically were made in Bavaria at the Bavarian Academy of Art in Munich, Germany.
They arrived in New Ulm in 1904. From there, an order of nuns called the Poor Handmaids of Jesus Christ took over and created the pathway. The path itself is 700 feet long, and in the middle of it all is a grotto that was built one stone at a time. The nuns also helped assemble each station by hand, pushing wheelbarrows up the hill, loaded with brick and cobblestone.
You see just all the work that was done and the physical labor that was done, and it's quite an accomplishment that they had.
But over the decades, Way of the Cross became overlooked, and as a result, became overgrown.
In fact, you couldn't walk up the path without having to duck under trees. And I believe the bishop had actually said you either take care of it or you tear it down.
So Earl LaPlante and the Knights of Columbus took over and essentially resurrected this historic pathway. They sent the nearly 120-year-old statues to a company in St. Louis to have them repainted. Then they cleaned up the chapel at the top of the hill.
But it all comes from donations, so people are very generous.
Earl even helped get the path on the National Register of Historic Places. Since then, the statues get almost as many visitors as Herman does.
A lot of them say, well, we're not Catholic. And I tell them it doesn't make any difference. You know, and there's other many faiths that come here also, just touring.
Touring not only the stations, but the flowers too.
We're talking like 500 or 600 flowers.
Denise Richter will be busy in the spring and summer, planting and maintaining the entire area. Like the stations themselves, the plant life has come a long way.
When I first came, there weren't any flowers up here except one bed of irises.
The caretakers believe that everyone who comes here gets something different out of their visit. But they also believe all visitors have one important thing in common. They leave with a little more peace and a little more serenity.
Because of the events that are happening in the world.
In New Ulm,
I think a lot of people come here and will continue to come here just for a peace of mind.
John Lordson, WCCO 4 News.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, the Way of the Cross was originally the brainchild of Father Alexander Bergold and Sister Flavia around 1900.
It became part of the National Register of Historic Places in 2020. You'll find it located behind the New Ulm Medical Center. If you'd like more information, we have it at WCCO.com/links.